Hi guys, so today I want to talk about the case of Hanal versus People, GR number of 248130. So this case actually, it has three phases in the court, in RTC, Regional Trial Court, Court of Appeals, and Supreme Court. So the crime charge is homicide against Hanal, and the decision of RTC, Hanal is convicted of homicide. It was also appealed in Court of Appeals. And the decision of RTC, Regional Trial Court, the homicide, it was affirmed. So it has the same decision. They supported it. However, it was reappealed to Supreme Court, the case. And that is where the case, I mean, the decision has been reversed and Hanal has been acquitted. So, napawalang sala siya. So, let's proceed on the facts of this case. So I just actually read the case. So if you're here in this channel, probably you're trying to find a case that you can actually just listen to or watch. So on May 20, 2013, so it happened in province of Cagayan in the jurisdiction of the Honorable Court. And the accused is Prudencio Hanal. All right. And he was armed with gun and feloniously alleged attack Julwin Alvarez. Okay. So that was the victim. All right, so the petitioner actually Hanal, he admitted killing but invoked the self-defense of a relative. Hence, the order of the trial court had been reversed. So the defense version, it's 7 o'clock in the evening, May 20, 2013. So I'm just gonna narrate the story. So they were having a drinks. Mm, According here, the name of the drink, it's very provincial. I'm not so sure about, but it's cuantos, something like that. If you guys are familiar, but that's normally the drinks in the provinces. Like it's gin. I think that's the equivalent here. And then meanwhile, Angelo arrived. That's one of their neighbor. And then Angelo Florante is drunk already when he arrived. So then he advised him to just go home instead. You know. But Angelo is he picked up a stone, two stone on his hand, and then he was like trying to challenge the petitioner. Petitioner again, Hanal is one of those dudes who's having a drink. They were just having fun, and then he challenged Angelo, challenged Hanal, maybe because he was hurt because he was not invited, and then he was just advised to just go home. Of course, he was drunk, and then 30 minutes later, uh, Angelo came with Hulwin Alvarez. All right, so they are in the middle of the road. They had the stone, and then they were like throwing the stone on the house of Hulwin. Hanal's house on their neighbor, and also Hanal's senior, the father. So the father tried to amend the situations, kind of like they were trying to pacify the Angelo and Julwin Alvarez, advising him just to go home. And then we're gonna talk about this tomorrow morning. It's okay because my wife has a hypertension, so she can't be disturbed on her sleep. So kind of like that. And then they refused. What they did, remember, Angelo had a stone. Uh, it For this story, it's kind of like Angelo hand over the stone to Hulwin Alvarez, and then what Hulwin did, they stroked the stone on Hulwin Senior. I mean Hanal Senior's chest that made him fell on the ground, and he was he was passed out. Okay, and the petitioner, the son of Hanal Senior, remember Hanal Senior, the son earlier who was having drink with the friends who advised him to just go home, who was challenged by Angelo. He saw what happened. So what he did, he tried to get the gun inside a house to make a warning shot. So he shot. But despite of that, um, Hulwin did Alvarez, he still he still managed to proceed on the way of Hanal house, of their family, of their compound. So when he's about 2 to 3 meters away, he tried to shot him for the second time. But what Cohen did, Alvarez, he just gave him a middle finger, and you know what that is. So from that point, Hanel was very scared because he know that, oh, this Alvarez is very sure of what he's threatening me. I'm gonna kill your whole family, kind of like that. I'm gonna kill your whole family with a stone. And despite of the warning shot, he did the middle finger. So probably afraid of making good of his threat. So what Hanel did, you know what happened next? He shot Alvarez all of the multiple rounds of shot. According on this case, it is around 5 bullets and 2 lacerations on his chest. Yes, that's exactly what happened. So to cut the story short, he called the police and he surrendered himself, and he was charged of homicide. So again, like what I've said, the issue here is whether or not the justifying circumstances, the self defense, and defense of relative should be appreciated in his favor. Okay, so he was convicted. He was charged of homicide in RTC and also in Court of Appeals. So the case has been tried again in Supreme Court, and he was acquitted because the justifying circumstances exist. The ruling in Supreme Court, it's yes, it should be appreciated because the petitioner, the first and second justifying circumstances under Article 11 of Revised Penal Code, number one, the unlawful aggression. There's unlawful aggression. So, diba? We remember Hanal, I mean, Hulwin was like still trying to challenge them despite of the warning shot. He still proceeded. So there is unlawful aggression. That's not lawful, right? So second, there is a reasonable necessity of the means employed to prevent or repel it. So necessity of means employed, what does it mean? That means it is necessary for Hanal doing the shot because it's only a few meters away on his house, and the house, that is where his family at. And he saw what happened to his father, Hanal Senior, that Hulway is actually really decided to kill or to hurt all of them, and enable for him to prevent that, as the father of the film, is the father of them. So what he did, he just shot Hulway to prevent those. And third, lack of sufficient provocation in the part of the person defending himself. What does it mean? So, provocation, walang paghahamon, or parang you're provoking the person. Like, sige nga, suntukan tayo, or baka naman kasi ikaw yung dahilan, bakit siya nagkaganon. So, based on the facts, walang pangyayaring ganon. What he did is merely and purely was just trying to defend the household from Huwin, who is really somehow aggressively determined to enter the house and kill all of them, considering that there's a knife here on the waist, and also the 2 stone used against his father, who was passed out on the gate, that's still with Hulwin. So that's exactly what happened. And second is, according to Supreme Court, anyone who acts in defense of the person or rights of his spouse, ascendants, descendants, first, natural or adopted as brother, sister, relatives by affinity or consanguinity, within the fourth civil degree, they can definitely do that. So, for example, nakita mo yung kamag-anak mo or um, tatay mo, nanay mo may sasaksak sa kanya, pwede mo siya pagtanggol and pagsaksak. When I'm really having a hard time to speak Tagalog. If you saw that your father is about to be killed or to be struck of a knife by someone or another person, and before you do that, enable for you to prevent those, you kill the person so you can be acquitted. Paano? Hindi naman ikaw yung sinasaksak. So according here, anyone who acts in defense of the person or rights of his spouse, ascendants, relatives of fourth consanguinity, fourth degree of generation, definitely you can defend them. So you can be acquitted. That's justifying circumstances. Okay. Provided that the three elements are present. What are those? There is unlawful aggression. Pangalawa, reasonable necessity of the means employed in order to prevent the attack. Third, there is a lack or sufficient provocation in the end of a person defending himself. So, hindi naman kasi ikaw yung naghahamon or nakikipag-away. Kaya, ginawa niya lang din, diba? So, dapat walang ganun. So, if those three elements are present, then uh, self-defense can be used as justifying circumstances. Pasok ka dun. And the thing is, the burden of proof is on your end. Yun lang yung medyo mabigat na part. So, yan yung nangyari kay Hanal. Again, that's year number 248130. So, I hope mas naintindihan mo yung case. Magkabasa pa ako ulit.